Basically put, this one is the only villain I'm going to expand on that from the Virtual World arc because he actually had some relevance. Well, one of two villains, I should say. Noah Kaiba. I'm just gonna say it straight up. He only appeared in the Virtual World arc, which is anime only. Was the main antagonist, Kaiba's stepbrother. Manipulated Mokuba to betray Seto. Was killed in a freak accident as a child, though the dub says he was comatose.
I've let my emotions go, fuck being a sober hoe.
Gozaburo Kaiba, his birth father, basically uploaded him to a supercomputer in an attempt to save him.
Sure, that went great.
Oh, and here's the fun part. He was technically abandoned by Gozaburo not once, but twice. Yeah, it shows what a good father Gozaburo fucking is. Of course, he eventually redeemed himself by saving Seto Kaiba. Now, before we still discuss Noah, I need to get to Gozaburo, because we need people to figure out just how much of an asshole he is. Stepfather to both Maseto and Mokuba, birth father to Noah, a greedy and powerful businessman who basically was also former Kaiba Corp CEO, made lots of military weapons and shit, causing wars and shit to make billions of dollars.
Yeah.
He committed suicide out of shame and humiliation when Seto Kaiba bought Kaiba Corp out from under him. Yes, he committed suicide. We're not going to go with the Dubs version of, he just ran away. No. Because clearly, they show signs of him dying in the anime if you look closely.
Also, didn't Kaiba beat him in chess?
That too,
Yeah.
in order to force Gozaburo to adopt him, and Mokuba. He was eventually found in the virtual world and tried to forcefully seize Seto Kaiba's body despite losing to him fair and square. Yeah, he's an asshole. This is the same motherfucker who was responsible for Kaiba being the way he is, by the way.
But thankfully, at least he got destroyed for good because Noah killed him!
Yeah, pretty much.
Blew it up!
Okay, so thoughts on Noah and Gozaburo Kaiba?
I honestly don't give a shit about either of them, but if anything, the only more interesting character was Noah. And he's just a sad kid who didn't get much chance to live his life.
Yeah.
Very true.
Fuck you for making Seto this way.
Nah. You should be grateful. If Seto wasn't this way, you wouldn't get the cocky asshole that you love.
No, I know, but fuck you.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest here. Gozaburo was a fucking child abusing asshole. And let's not forget that this is the same guy who, again, he's the one that basically gave Seto Kaiba a test to make back, what was it? He was given 1 million yen and was forced to make back 10 times the amount within a year. Kaiba, being the overachiever he is, decided, let's beat that and go for one day. So he literally bought out a small company for 1 million and then forced him to sell it back and then forced him to buy it back for 10 times the amount. All within a day. Then eventually seized Kaiba Corp for himself.
Yeah,
because he was tired of Gozaburo shit.
We all would.
Even going as far as mistreating his own little brother in order to do so. As for Noah, I'm gonna be honest, I feel a little bad for him, but he was still a little shit.
Yeah, he was.
But if anything, he had his reasons. Let's look at his dad.
Yeah, but here's the difference, though. Like, Noah simply wanted to make his dad proud of him, but let's be honest, Gozaburo's an asshole towards children. He shouldn't be allowed to have any. Plain and simply, he should not be allowed to have children.
No.
He must have had a wife or something because Noah was
Well,
there, right?
clearly Noah was the result, and, well, he probably didn't treat his wife well at all.
Oh, geez, I wonder what happened. Probably either left or fucking murdered for all we know.
Zammy, your thoughts?
I already shared them. Fuck you!
Fair point. Mizuki?
I have nothing to share except for I feel a little bad for Noah as well, but yeah, still he was kind of a
Crossy?
Oh shit, we were talking about Noah as well. Noah's okay, but Gozaburo can go fuck himself.
Yeah, fair point. I wouldn't have blamed you if you had nothing nice to say about Noah, because let's be honest, the one good thing about Noah I found throughout that arc was literally this. was that he actually punished one of his own minions for cheating. So he has some sense of fair play. But other than that, fuck him. Moving on, since we have nothing more to say about Noah or Gozaburo, and let's be honest, do we have anything good to say about Gozaburo?
No.
No.
Fuck
He has
no.
He has a nice mustache.
Moving on, we have Dartz. Ugh.
Oh.
For those who don't know,
Lord.
he's the main antagonist of the Awakening of the Dragon arc.
Yes,
that
he was the
blue-haired
former
motherfucker.
king of Atlantis.
The King of Atlantis.
He's the leader of Doma. He also was essentially the originator of the Seal Void Calcos, or rather, he served the demon that has the power of the Seal Void Calcos. Manipulated my Valentine alongside God knows how many other people, including his own most loyal soldiers, Raphael, Valen, and Amelda, or Alistair in the dub version. He's been alive for roughly 10,000 years due to the Orichalcos. Was also directly and indirectly responsible for the fall of his own kingdom of Atlantis.
Yep.
He also betrayed his own family in the process, by the way. He also spent roughly 10,000 years stealing souls in order to power the Orichalcos and summon the Great Leviathan.
Mm-hmm.
And let's hear this last little fun fact. He also not only hijacked both Industrial Illusions and Kaiba Corp, but also triggered certain events in motion that led to his own soldiers losing everything they ever cared about. All of this to manipulate them into working for him. What can one say about Dartz?
Well, I can tell he is a good villain at some parts.
Yep.
If he's that easy to manipulate, if he's easy to manipulate people and shit and give in to what their heart desires and all that shit, and not only that, be able to take down both Industrial Illusions and Kaiba Corp and take it for his own, well.
Yep, he did this within roughly, a month? That's terrifying.
Imagine if he did it in a day.
Hey, he could have. In fact, he's the reason why Kaiba Corp was forced to host that K1 Grand Prix. And as for what he did to his own family, well, he turned his own wife into a demon and basically killed her.
What?
Yep.
I don't remember that.
There was a scene where his wife literally turned into a demon when she was exposed to the power of the Orichalcos.
Yep.
God, it's been so long since I've seen the Awakening of the
As for his own daughter and his father, basically were also backstabbed in the process. They had to run for their lives when Atlantis fell. And at one point throughout history, he accidentally ran into Yami Yugi, though Yami Yugi does not remember this.
Bet you never thought you'd see my sinister face again, did you?
I'm sorry, who are you?
Yeah, that's shown in a flashback when he's doing
Yep.
Yami and Kaiba.
Uh-huh. During the time that Yami Yugi was chasing down Thief King Bakura was when Dartz went past him, though Dartz was basically, concealed and everything, so of course the Pharaoh never knew. But yeah, he also basically tricked my Valentine into working for him because he took advantage of her loneliness.
Season 4 really fucked up Mai. Let's just be real.
Yeah. And as for Dartz, let's be honest, as much as he's a master manipulator, I guess even he was too dense to realize he himself was being manipulated. Ha! Your thoughts on Dartz? Because I've got pretty much nothing beyond that. Going by the dead silence, there's barely anything to say about him.
Yep.
It's Illuori Calcamalos.
Thing is, it's not that we don't have much to say about Dartz. It's just because, well, what can you say? Because given what we hear about him and shit, I just question the shit.
Fair point.
Honestly, I just question like his motives is all and stuff. But yeah,
might as well lead this into his most loyal soldiers on this one. Raphael, the one of the swordsmen of Doma, or if you want to look at the subversion, the Three Musketeers in Awakening the Dragons.
Yeah.
He was extremely loyal to Dartz's cause until he was ultimately betrayed. Wanted the absolute few to defeat Yami Yugi in a duel, which cost Yugi his soul. Received his guardian deck as a gift from his family, and was separated from said family in a luxury cruise where the boat went directly into a tidal wave. Now, in the sub version, his family disappeared and apparently forgot about him. Wrong! In the original version, his family was actually drowned in the tidal wave.
Yep.
Huh. People drowning in a tidal wave from a ship. Where have I heard this before?
Oh,
Titanic.
no.
Hey.
Moving on from that. Also, he didn't discover their ultimate fate until a couple years later when he found his siblings' bodies, or what was left of them. He found their skulls, by the way.
I don't even have a joke for that one. That's just morbid as fuck.
He found his siblings' skulls.
You see, normally I like to make jokes to lighten up the situation, but not even I have a joke for that one, and I can't make one, and I don't think any of us can, because that's just morbid as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Like a joke right now is just like, Raphael's my favorite Ninja Turtle. Dart!
I'm gonna take a guess here. This is where the whole dual spirit concept came from long term for, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX and onward, because Raphael, to an extent, could communicate with the spirits of his own monsters.
I mean, it makes sense, given how he's got a close heart to that deck of his, especially since it was from his family.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, he treats that deck like it's his own fucking family more than most of the characters in this series, you know what I mean?
Though, to be fair, it's understandable given the circumstances.
Yeah, so if anything, I feel like the spirits can connect with him. Should we all give our thoughts about good old Raphael?
Yeah.
You're evil, Pharaoh.
I'm gonna say this straight up in all seriousness. I feel bad for Raphael because of the shit he went through. Doesn't excuse him from what he did. Don't get me wrong. It's just he's one of those guys you can't help but feel kind of bad for, because this was somebody that lost pretty much everything. Not once, but twice.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. The way I say twice is because his family was submerged in a tidal wave. He was the only survivor. And for as far as he knew, maybe there was still a chance of finding maybe one of his family members still alive. Nope! Dartz had to help him track down what was left of his family, and well, he had no surviving relatives, and it was just his siblings, and well, yeah, the whole thing with his siblings' skulls.
You know what would be really fucked of what Dartz to do?
What?
If most of the souls that Dartz would have was Raphael's family members.
The thing about that, it was revealed that Dartz was pretty much responsible for Raphael's family being drowned in that tidal wave.
So he has their souls, doesn't he?
Probably?
It's possible.
Yeah.
Considering how many he had.
Like, in all honesty, I think it's easy to say that Raphael's had it pretty bad. That poor sap.
Honestly, when it comes to Raphael, and I find this funny, I appreciate Raphael beating Yami, because then we want to get that glorious Kaiba butthurt scene.
Well, we haven't hit rock bottom at all.
Yugi lost a card game!
Yeah?
I thought we had something special, Yugi. What, is our rivalry just one big joke to you? And let me tell you one last thing. All those times I got angry and declared that I would have my vengeance on you, I was faking!
He made it so dramatic, though. That's the thing.
I know he did.
But Kaiba was more pissed off because he never expected Yugi to actually lose. Ever. He saw Yugi as this undefeatable opponent he had to beat. And that someone beat him too was like the ultimate insult.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But yeah, there you go. That's Raphael in a nutshell. I mean, for better or worse, Raphael he's a tough motherfucker, but look what he had to go through to deal with it. If I had to equate anyone from this series to even a quarter of the way to Guts from Berserk, it has to be him.
Honestly, I don't know.
So does that mean he has to get a girlfriend?
No, we are not discussing that.
And I don't think you should really compare any character to Guts.
I'm just saying, if you had to pick anyone who came even a quarter of the way,
I would say Raphael had about 50% because how Guts lost his family is a little more morbid. I'm saying that right now, but I'm not going to get into that. That's going to be safe for the Berserk discussion, so I'm just going to take this PNG of Guts and kick it to the Berserk review.
Anyways, next one is Alistair.
Alistair from Has Been Hotel?
No, I wish. Basically, or Amelda, if you want to look at the subversion. Basically put, he hates Seto Kaiba for multiple reasons, mostly connected to Seto's father, Gozaburo. He blamed Gozaburo for basically the death of his little brother, not disappearance, death.
You know what's funny?
Yep.
What?
I had a lot of people tell me when they first saw Alistair, they thought he was a chick.
You would not be the only one, and I doubt you'd ever be the last. Long story short, he grew up in a war-torn country, and basically put, guess who was supplying the weapons on both sides of the conflict in his home country?
Fucking Gozaburo.
Yeah, only turned out to be Dartz much later on.
Yep.
A war-born country. He would be great at Code Geass.
Oh my god.
Basically put, believes in the whole sins of the fighter concept because he sees Seto Kaiba as his scapegoat for the actions of his stepfather Gozaburo, even though Seto was not in control when this happened, back when Kaiba Corp was still a weapons development company. Basically put, his younger brother was killed when a tank exploded.
Lelouch Britannia, he's not.
No. That means he would actually have to win a duel in his case. He hasn't. The first time was a draw.
I find it weird how... Yeah, I find his first duel weird how he was disguised as Pegasus for a bit, and then he just later...
Oh, God, yeah.
Pretty much.
What I find it weird was, how was he able to change decks so quickly from the Toon deck to his
I think he mixed the Toon cards in and probably stacked the deck.
Most likely.
He challenged Kaiba twice, and the first result was a draw. Second one was basically a loss.
Yeah, because the first one never got really finished.
I should also point this out for the record. His hatred for Kaiba, specifically the whole family, was so fucking strong that when Kaiba gained the upper hand in the duel while on the plane, he absolutely refused to end his turn just so he could force the plane to nosedive and crash.
He's butthurt.
Butthurt. Mostly the Three Musketeers don't impress me.
Well, to be fair, Raphael is one dangerous motherfucker, hon.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen his deck, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm at a loss how the hell he makes it work.
I mean, the most interesting is Raphael. Like, the other two can just go fuck off.
To be fair, Valen is not a half-bad character in his own right, and we'll get to him in a second.
He's not a half-ass character. He has reasons, but at the same time, the other two can just go fuck off.
But let's focus on Alistair for a minute.
Fine.
I really don't have much to say on Alistair.
He's a very angry boy. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
I mean, I get his reasons, but goddamn, dude, hold the butthurt a bit. Why don't you?
Yeah, no kidding.
Butthurt.
Okay,
yeah, pretty much. I figured.
I shouldn't really make jokes that he's butthurt, but the way he's acting is kind of more butthurt than just petty revenge.
Yeah.
Okay, so Valen, basically, if you had to pick anyone from Yu-Gi-Oh to be anything remote like Yusuke or Meshi for Yu Yu Hakusho, it's Valen, and here's why.
It's Valen.
He basically was a delinquent who always got into fights, like Joey. He was Joey's biggest rival for quite a while. He was literally responsible for my joining Doma. And he used to live with a nun at a church, though eventually the church was set on fire. And supposedly the nun was inside when this happened. Though that scene was removed in the dub, but yeah, the church was set on fire. He ended up in prison after he savagely beat up some thugs who were hired to force the nun to leave the church she was staying in. No joke. He beat them up so badly, some of them were put in comas. That's why he ended up in prison. Aggravated assault.
Wow.
However, what he doesn't know was that Dartz was actually the one directly responsible for his church being burnt down. And in the dub, now, according to the dub, Dartz framed him for this. But that's not true. Dartz simply burned down the church and basically led Valen into, the chain of events that led him to, where he was.
Yeah.
Dueled Joey in a literal clash of fists in an effort to gain Mai's affection, then to save her from herself. That's Valen in a nutshell. He's got possibly the most violent background of the three.
Honestly, I have to say about Valen, he's kind of one of the coolest characters ever, and the reason I say that is because I find his deck is not great in real life to me, but I find it more amazing in the anime, given how he's literally fighting the fucking monsters and shit. That kind of it's like if a trainer actually decides to fight a fucking Pokemon with their fists to catch him.
And technically speaking,
or maybe like Marcus when he punches Agumon in Digimon.
You know what? That's actually pretty accurate.
Yeah, that's fucking dead accurate. Oh yeah, it doesn't say me like Marcus now that I remember.
I have a feeling that's where the Marcus was inspired by.
Or as that one guy from Everything Wrong with Yu-Gi-Oh said, he's Dan from Bakugan.
Oh, and also a little fun fact: he beat the unholy shit out of both Rebecca and Duke Devlin by himself. Oh, and here's the fun part: he didn't use the Seal Void Calcos. He held back on them twice over. Oh, right. I forgot. There was one picture that we can get used from to show Joey and his clash. For better or worse, Valen was, if nothing else, he was very similar to Joey in a number of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
If I had to be completely honest, the vibes I get from Valen, he's very anti-hero-like.
Mm-hmm. You wouldn't be wrong to think that. I mean, he's not really much of a villain per se. He's definitely more anti-hero or just, very, how do I put this? He's definitely in it for himself mainly. He's loyal, don't get me wrong, he's loyal to Dartz, but not to the extent that Raphael was.
Wait, I have a question. Did we ever talk about My Valentine, or did I overskip?
We have not talked about her yet. We were actually going to move on to that.
Okay.
In a minute.
Because I don't know if she counted as a protagonist or antagonist or
no, she was what you call a deuteragonist, which was basically playing both sides on that one, which is technically what she did.
Okay, never mind. Continue.
But yeah, honestly, if I'd say one thing about Valen, he's definitely at least he's definitely one of those hot-blooded people with extreme conviction, much like Raphael. He's hot-blooded, but he's also, I guess you want to say, loyal to someone rather than something.
If I have to be honest, though, I feel like when it comes to the dub, they could have eased up his fucking accent a bit.
Let's be honest, I was not a fan of his accent. They were trying really hard with him.
Yeah, they were trying way too hard on his voice. You could have given him a cool different voice, but no, you were trying
Any other thoughts on Valen? Because I got nothing.
I like Valen.
Meh.
Valen Victorian.
Oh my god, Justin!
Anyways, Demi, what about you?
Not really.
Fair enough. I think we can all agree Valen's an okay character at best. Alright, so back to the villains. Oh god. Aknadin, the uncle of Pharaoh Atem.
Oh god.
He was directly responsible for the deaths of an entire village of thieves in order to create the Millennium Items, as I already explained before. So yeah, he helped create Yamabakura.
Oh, him.
Yeah.
Yep, he was the original owner. He was the original owner of the Millennium Eye.
He got his eye on you.
Basically now here's the reason why he massacred Bakura's home village of Kul Elna. The reason for it was he did this to save Egypt from invading countries who wanted to conquer and destroy it. So, against his better judgment, he used an ancient artifact called the Millennium Tome to make the items. And in the now this was only revealed in the manga, for the record. In the manga, Zork Necrophage, the Lord of the Shadow Realm himself, he took advantage of Akhenaten's desperation to save Egypt by making him go through that ritual of killing 99 people. And, the whole process of creating the items. Zork took advantage of their desperation and, tricked them into making the items, which eventually led him down the path of corruption. All that fucked up shit that happened in Kul Elna, that was technically Akhenaten's fault, but Zork made him do it.
So, are we going to talk about Akhenaten or Zork?
Akhenaten, because there's a lot more in Zork.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I don't got much to say about Akhenaten, to be honest. Just that He's manipulated, and he was an evil prick when he was manipulated. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Not only that, but he betrayed the Pharaoh's court so he could essentially take over the throne and put his own son, Priest Seto, in charge of Egypt. Though, ironically, when he eventually died and, when he eventually died as a result of his own actions, ironically, the Pharaoh, out of pure and utter generosity, put Priest Seto in charge because he was sacrificing himself to seal Zork. Irony.
Yep.
So, technically speaking, Aknadin got what he wanted, just not the way he intended. He was also jealous of his older twin brother for being pharaoh while he was only the chief advisor, which was another one of his motivations. When it comes to Aknadin, you have to consider his motivations for everything he did. He wanted the best for his family, but he just went about it the wrong way.
This is very true.
Your thoughts on Aknadin?
I don't got much to say, so I was
Same.
late.
Yeah, but he did some really fucked up shit. That's
Yeah,
why I
he
don't
really
particularly care
did.
for him. I mean, I'm sorry, but you have to be one messed up motherfucker to kill almost 100 people and then melt down the remains mixed with gold to make those fucking magical items. That's pretty fucked up no matter who you are. There is no words to describe how messed up that is. Sammy, Krusty, your thoughts? Because I got nothing more than that.
No thoughts. You kind of hit the nail on the head.
All right. Zork Necrophades. Oh, you're going to love this one.
Oh, God.
He was the
I already
Lord
know
of
what to
Shadow
say
Realm,
about
as
him.
I pointed out twice already. He killed most of the Pharaoh's court, nearly destroyed all of humanity with the Shadow Games. Twice, by the way.
I has a question.
What's up?
Why the fuck does he have a dragon dick?
I was about to get to that, actually. Used King Bakur's revenge for his village as a means to control him. Has a dragon for a penis. Yes, this is actually a thing. It was heavily edited in the English dub. I mean, yeah, the dubbing looks ridiculous, but can you blame them in this one?
But I'm legitimately asking, why does he have one?
You're gonna laugh at this, probably, but the design was a literal result of a fever dream by Kazuki Takahashi while he was sick. So while he was drawing the manga, he was severely ill, and Zork was a literal result of a fever dream. In other words, yeah, that thing is literally a fever dream.
I don't got much to say about Zork. That he was a weird villain. Just
yeah. Well, another thing, he was literally created from the darkness of humanity's hearts.
Yep.
So he was literally evil incarnate. And he was also technically the previous incarnation of Yami Bakura. So Yami Bakura is really a weird combination of Thief King Bakura and Zork, if you want to call it that.
I got not much to say about Zork because he's literally just a weird demonic thing with a big fucking dragon penis.
I take a look at my enormous penis.
I mean, Justin has a point with that one.
Anyone else have thoughts on Zork? Because I don't know what I can say about him other than the obvious.
I take a look at my enormous penis.
Han, who hurt you?
Everybody.
Everyone in my entire life hurt me.
Damn. Thank you,
Wow.
I guess.
Thanks, girl.
Anyone else?
The bad people.
I got nothing.
I ain't got nothing
Penis.
either.
Enormous penis.
I'll say this much about Zork. At least out of all the villains of Yu-Gi-Oh, he kind of had, he came the closest to actually achieving his goal. Let's just say it like that. I mean, for better or worse, he literally came the closest to his goals at least 3 separate times, if you want to get technical. And this is a guy who had no second thoughts about, doing the things he did, so there's that. Other than that, I ain't got nothing to say about him. It would have to be a toss-up on who's more evil. Him? Or, I'm going to say it straight up if you have to consider who's the most evil antagonist. Him, Gozaburo Kaiba, or Yami Bakura.
Wait, who are the options for our most evil antagonist?
Actually, no. Yami Merrick, Gozaburo, or Zork. Because remember, Yami Bakura is technically an incarnation of Zork.
Yeah.
Goes the Ball is a child abuser. Yami was a sadistic psychopath. And Zork wants to end humanity for no reason.
Yeah.
I think from the sound of it, we've got everything we can say about Zork Necrophades.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the notable characters. Mokuba Kaiba. Not much to say about him. He's Seto's little brother, has been kidnapped multiple times.
Yeah.
Helped Seto seize Kaiba Core from Gozaburo. And is usually eager to help him no matter what. Though, if you look at Season 0, he's also a psychical shit who created Def T. Your thoughts, guys? I already just said mine.
If anything, Mokuba is a little kid who gets kidnapped easily a lot.
Like, can we say Princess Peach?
He was a princess.
I was about to say. Doesn't help they kind of did make him a princess.
Yeah, in the first virtual world arc thing.
Yeah.
That's playing mildly. Damn, your thoughts?
None. He's just a cute little cinnamon roll.
He's a cute little shit that gets kidnapped.
Cute little cinnamon roll shithead that gets kidnapped.
Princess Peach's kid.
No. Not at all.
Oh God.
Princess Peach incarnate.
Oh lordy. Alright then, I think we can all safely say that Mokuba was just a kidnapping victim several times over. Alright, next on our list, Solomon Moto, Yugi's grandfather, the original owner of Exodia, a major gambler in his time, taught Joey how to duel, discovered the land puzzle and accidentally met the Pharaoh, when he was nearly killed by 2 guides he hired, yikes, and he was an archaeologist before he retired to being a game shop owner because he lost a bet.
Oof.
Oh, here's the fun part. Suffered a near heart attack thanks to Seto Kaiba.
That is also true.
I'm sorry, but he didn't deserve that one at least. Like, that's just kind of fucked.
Not to mention Kaiba ripped that fucking blue eyes.
Yes, he did.
And little fun fact for you guys, for you dubbers out there, his younger self was voiced by Guts.
He was also technically a reincarnation of a priest named Shimon. But other than that, like, there's not too many notable things about him. Other than, oh yeah, the irony of when Yugi and Rebecca dueled, and it turned out that they played out the exact same duel that their grandfathers once had. I mean, that's all we can say about Solomon Moto. That, and he apparently made an appearance in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, so I can't remember for sure if that was the case. Anyways, your thoughts on Solomon?
Honestly, he's a cool archaeologist and stuff, and he's a good caretaker for Yugi when his parents are around.
Not to mention, he used to be apparently a daredevil and a gambler. He must have the devil's luck if he didn't somehow run his family to debt. And obviously, Yugi inherited his luck.
That type of thing would make Joey jealous.
To be fair, Joey's luck isn't much better. Or should I say any much worse. Remember, Joey's only lost literally one instance of luck, and that was against that little shithead Bones. Honestly, not much I can say about Solomon other than he's apparently a skilled duelist in his own right. I don't remember what was his overall record though, but yeah. Next one on the list, Weevil Underwood. All right, let's get the knives ready.
Automatic
hold on.
We're talking about Devora's husband.
Ew!
Ew!
Gross!
Or should I say the first of Devora's harem of men?
Gross!
Moving on.
Anyways, he was directly responsible for Yugi's loss of his grandfather's prize Exodia cards. He was a sore loser and a lousy cheat. Lost nearly every duel he fought on screen. Manipulated by pretty much Dartz. Lost his soul when he pissed off Yami Yugi. Yeah, I went there. And literally have to point out, he severely angered Yami Yugi to the point where he flew into a berserk rage and viciously attacked him multiple times.
Haga! 覚悟しろよこの虫野郎モンスターカードドローモンスターカードドローモンスターカードもうやめてユーギ離せ
You know, Monster.
Okay, let's just sum up Weevil really quickly because I hate him with a passion.
Just a whiny little prick who would cheat to get his way.
His voice is extremely annoying.
Pretty much, yeah.
Sounds like a Cyberman.
Ugh.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, that's actually pretty accurate, hon.
Yeah.
Zabby, you got anything to say about Chip?
About Weevil.
Oh, Weevil. I'm sorry, I'm tired.
Devorah's wife.
Okay, you know what? I think that we've summed up Weevil.
Zabby, thoughts, opinions?
Nope.
Okay, move it up.
I mean, have you seen that picture of a female Weevil? Gag! Rex Raptor seeks revenge on Joey for multiple defeats against him. Wants to respect the duels till he lost the Duelist Kingdom, where he made the mistake of betting his Red Eyes Black Dragon against Joey's Time Wizard.
Yep.
Repeatedly works with Weevil to one-up their hated rivals and fails epically. Not much to say about Rex other than he's just basically Weevil's stooge.
Pretty much.
I mean, you'd think that he would have learned at least a little humility after losing the way he did, not once, but twice, to Joey.
Yeah, you'd think he would learn, but he didn't.
When will you learn that? When will you learn that your actions have consequences?
He's just bad. Just bad. That's all I can say about Rex. Like, he's not a good character. He's not a good duelist, in my honest opinion. He's just bad. Pretty sure, like, Crossy, I know you're basically a rookie when it comes to the card game, but I'm pretty sure you could kick the shit out of Rex without even trying.
Yeah, I would just go over to his side, kick him in the shin, take his fucking red eyes, and be on my little way.
All I would see is Zammy using Cyber and Dragon and killing him.
Yeah, and she would mostly drink her sweet tea or whatever tea she likes.
Zammy, yes. Justin, your thoughts? Because I got nothing on Rex.
On Rex?
Yes.
I don't really have much to say about Dino Boy, to be completely honest, because he was literally just there.
Yeah.
He was just there, and he's just an annoyance like Weevil. So, yeah.
Rex sucks. He really, really sucks.
Water sucks. He really, really sucks.
Zammy, your thoughts on Rex Raptor? I mean, he's
absolutely not.
Moving on. Duke Devlin.
Go to hell.
Duke Devlin.
Okay, I'm awake now. I'm dropping everything.
All right, Crossy, you know what to edit in. Edit in Duke's theme for background music.
And then put me in the side, just like dancing or something.
I'm gonna get through this little tidbit real quick so we can actually discuss him proper. He owns the Black Clown game shop. He created Dungeon Dice Monsters. Practically hero worships Pegasus. Fights with Tristan over the affections of Joey's younger sister Serenity. Accused Yugi of cheating against Pegasus. Challenged Yugi at Dungeon Dice Monsters and eventually lost despite essentially rigging the match in his favor. I mean, I'm sorry to say it like that, but it's true.
It is true.
He rigged the match by not telling Yugi the rules. I mean, granted, he ended up losing, but still. Give the guy some credit, though. He designed his own game pretty much by himself.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
This man can rig my game anytime.
So, I actually will gonna say a fun fact about Faust. Not Faust. Fuck, absolutely.
Duke Devlin.
Duke Devlin. Funny enough, he is voiced by the same voice actor who voices Kid Muscle in Ultimate Muscle.
My mother prepared that dinner with all her love. How dare you crush her love into the ground?
Jeez, talk about cheesy.
I'm not too surprised about that, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, Duke, I'm gonna be honest, he's not the most, like, dislikable character. It's just, for most of the series, unless he's like, playing a part, he's just there half the time. I mean, given points where it's due, he did help take down one of the big five.
Oh, yeah.
Which, let's be honest, they're a bunch of forgettable Yu-Gi-Oh villains. If it weren't for him, he and Serenity would have lost their bodies to the big five. Granted, the sad part is his only real relevance points were literally the Dungeon Dice arc and the Virtual World arc. I mean, yes, Zammy, I'm sorry to say it like that, but it's true. Duke Devlin does not have much, spotlight.
It doesn't matter. He has enough spotlight in my imagination.
I've got to get in there!
He can stare at me with those emerald eyes as long as he wants.
I'm gonna get the fuck up out of here. This shit, I'm out.
You love him so much, why don't you marry him?
I wish I could, Crossy. I wish I could.
I mean, let's be honest, though, he was kind of a dick to Yugi, just because of some, misguided anger. Anyways, I think I've said all I could honestly about Duke Devlin. He's not the worst guy in the world, but certainly not the best. I mean, he constantly is bitching to Tristan over Serenity, who, might I add, is... Well, I'm trying to remember. Oh, yeah, she's 13 years old.
You're going to jail, asshole!
But yeah, other than him jumping the gun at times, Duke is not, like I said, he's an okay dude. So, anything else y'all want to say? Sammy, I know you want to ride him already.
Neither of you got anything to say?
No, I have nothing to say about Duke.
Grassy?
What about...
Nah, I think Zemmy's overflowing sympathy kind of summed it up.
Let me have your babies. Oh,
Ladies, I appreciate the compliments, but there's plenty of Duke to go around.
Motherfucker.
Duke Devlin, honestly, I actually like Duke Devlin's design of coming up with a new version of gaming and all that, to be honest.
True that. I'll give you that one. Especially, you gotta be honest, his Dark Side Dimension design actually got an improvement.
And I did like his concept idea of doing Dungeon Dice monsters and all that.
I remember playing it on the Game Boy Advance from borrowing my cousin's Game Boy and playing it. It was actually kind of fun. The only thing that pissed me off was my luck with Movement Crest was absolutely god awful.
Honestly, though, when it comes to Dungeon Dice monsters, Zammy might get jealous of me as a kid for it. But I actually had a fucking board game of Dungeon Dice monsters as a kid.
Fuck you.
It basically had the dice, the little board pieces, and the little mini monster figures that both Duke had and Little Yugi had. It had the Silent Magician, the Twin Swordsman, the Electro Ball, Yoranzo, all of it. Gimme. It is in the storage. It is old. I could not find it if I could, but it was when I was a kid. I had that shit, and I played the shit out of it more than I did play Yu-Gi-Oh! For a bit. Then I went back to the card game because no one plays the Dungeon Dice monsters with me.
Again, it's like the game that looks like Duel Monsters.
Uh-huh. So yeah, if nothing else, Duke pioneered a dice game based off of the game that everyone their mother played in that universe. Honestly, I think that sums up Duke in a nutshell. The last three we have left, Ishizu, Odeon, and let me see here, Kisara. Okay, I'm gonna just sum it up quickly with Ishizu. She's Merrick's older sister. She's in charge of the museum, an expert duelist. She's skilled enough that even Yami Merrick is wary around her. And let's be honest, had it not been for Kaiba screwing the rules, she would have completely destroyed him.
Oh yeah.
She also owned the Millennium Necklace and has an innate ability to predict the future, even without using it.
I can see the future!
I know this is completely off topic, but goddamn, I wish I were the rules so Kaiba could screw me.
Go to horny jail.
But yeah, legitimately, Kishizu may have only had literally one duel on screen. But let's be fair here. Anyone who gives Seto Kaiba a massive run for his money is someone worth respecting. And damn did she ever. I mean, she basically, even with Kaiba basically getting a ridiculous advantage, she only needed one more turn to beat Kaiba. Just one. But Kaiba, again, screwed the rules and summoned his blue eyes, overusing Egyptian God card. She literally almost used his own arrogance against him. But yeah, there you go. That's Ishizu in a nutshell. And again, someone that even Merrick is not sure he can outright beat.
She badass.
I'm trying to think. Shizu's interesting.
I know she's Hazard's waifu. And
to be fair, I've never tried to hide that.
I predict that you are wet under your pants.
Shizu's interesting, though sometimes she can be kind of bland.
She's a mysterious character shrouded in mystery, which is just another way of saying she's boring as all get out. I'd hit it.
I blame on the fact that they don't give her like more screen time. Because the sad part is, rivaling Kaiba was not her main purpose. Sadly, it was more because she was supposed to help guide both Seto and the Pharaoh. Because let's be fair, she spent a good chunk of her time trying to convince Kaiba that he needed to help the Pharaoh.
You need to help the Pharaoh.
Gotta take it, Crossy.
Anywho, Mizu, your thoughts on Shizu?
Besides her being bland and not having enough screen time, in her own right, in a way, she can be a badass in a way.
Yeah, had she had more screen time, more development, I imagine she would have been a better character overall. I mean, even I'll admit that she could be a better character, but again, the lack of screen time is really telling.
Yeah.
Because she only appeared for maybe bits and pieces of Battle City, and basically a small part of the Dawn of the Duel arc. Like, she was only there for those parts, and that's just really sad on her end. Not saying it's her fault, it's just the writers could have, given her more screen time. Better development, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Justin, you already said your opinion. Zami, any opinion you have on the Shizu?
I wish I could have that necklace.
Why do you need the necklace?
So I can see you and I in the future, sweetheart. Didn't see that coming, huh?
I think you broke Justin.
I think you broke him.
No, I actually had to think about it for a minute because my brain was putting two together. I couldn't tell if you were just saying that as your normal voice or you were trying to pick me up as a Shizu for some stupid reason.
No!
That's how tired I am for a minute.
You too can see the future.
Oh my God.
And you're talking to a man who voices Bardock, who sees the future 24/7. So I already see the future.
He sees everything.
Yeah, I see everything. And this future I'm seeing, it's glorious because it has you in it.
Aww.
And then they fuck.
God damn it, hon. Anyway, next one is Odeon. Now, he's an interesting character in his own right, but not for reasons that most people would probably think, in my opinion. Backstory is long and short, he's adopted into the Ishtar family. He was found as a baby in the desert because apparently America and Ishizu's parents were having trouble having children. So they adopted him, if only because they were originally going to make him heir to the family. But then Ishizu was born and Merrick was born a couple years after. So because of that, Odeon got his title of being the heir of the family ripped away from him.
Oops!
But here's the thing. He was so loyal to the family that when Merrick was against the idea of having that fucking Pharaoh secret carved into his back with a knife, Odeon willingly volunteered to take his place. That's loyalty. And there's 3 specific reasons why he's loyal to the Ishtar family, and more specifically to Merrick. Number 1, Merrick's father saw him as more of a servant than an actual heir, sad as it is. 2, Odeon was always trying to keep Merrick's psychotic tendencies in check. And 3, he made a promise to Merrick's mother that he would take care of his siblings if anything happened to her. So his loyalty goes extremely far. And by the way, the little tattoo on his side of his face, I should tell you this now, that was not a tattoo. He literally carved those into his face.
Himself?
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
He literally carved those into the side of his face as a sign of his loyalty to the family. And here's the thing, nobody made him do it. He did it willingly.
Honestly, I find Odeon very interesting as a character, to be honest. Especially how he legit has that thing on his face just to help his brother.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he's not really a brother, but I consider him Merrick's
He's
brother.
an adopted brother. Yeah. Like, in all but name, he was an Ishtar. Leave it at that. Well, technically, he's adopted into the family, but still. he was willing to do whatever it took to protect his siblings. He didn't give a damn what it cost him. So
like
that
he would
is
do.
loyalty.
He did everything he could to help Merrick and stuff in his special situation.
Like I said, he carved all of that himself. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if I could honestly do that. Not because of him, like, you know, being squeamish or anything, just you have to realize the sheer amount of pain he must have been in. And he did it anyway. He literally did every single marking for hours just to do this. So yeah.
So I have to give credit where credit's due for when it comes to because
and remember he was treated like shit for a good chunk of the time he was part of the Ishtar family.
Yeah, like he was treated like a fucking bastard child in a way.
And give him credit where it's due as well. He risked. Remember, when Merrick forced him to play the Winged Dragon of Ra as proof that he was the person he was impersonating. While he had his doubts about it, he still went through with it. And as we all should know, if we've watched the series, there's a price to pay when you use a fake Egyptian god card.
Infidels!
Uh-oh!
Thou hast angered the god of trading cards! Now you will never again see the light of day!
I mean, to be honest, Odeon could have won if Merrick didn't tell him to use the god card. Let's be honest.
Yeah, considering he was kicking the shit out of Joey for almost the entire duel.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, the only reason Joey won that one was literally because he recovered first from Ra's punishment. Give credit where it's due, though. Odeon's loyalty should not be underestimated at all. Your thoughts, guys? Because I've already made my thoughts perfectly clear with what I've said.
All I have to say, well, I just pretty much agree with what you and Justin pretty much said.
Yeah, like, Odeon is a respectable character.
Oh,
he
yeah.
Really is.
He really is.
He's definitely a character you have to respect. Especially how that man, after he woke up from a coma, he legitimately made his way back onto the tower, even though he was still recovering, just to help save his master Merrick.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
If that doesn't show loyalty and close friendship, I don't know what will.
That's family right there. That's not just friendship. That's family. Plain and simple.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all covered pretty much everything. Like, who wouldn't want this guy as a fucking friend?
I agree with what they said.
And keep in mind that Odeon did all this because of a promise he made. Okay, Shadi. Okay, so Shadi, the original wielder of the Millennium Key, he was killed roughly 5 years before the series started by Yami Bakura. He owns both the key and the scales, guards ancient Egypt's tombs, and he occasionally appears to warn Yugi of potential danger, and was technically responsible for Pegasus recreating the Shadow Games in the form of duel monsters. Oh, and technically he was a ghost for pretty much the entire series, since, Yami Bakura murdered him. So yeah.
Shadi!
Go ahead.
Honestly, all I gotta really say about Shadi is he's a very interesting person.
Technically dead person.
Okay, come on now.
I know, I'm just saying.
I know. But he's an interesting character and stuff for a dead person. Shadi is a very interesting character in his own regards. He definitely shows some characteristics that I didn't expect to see, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because with his first appearance at the Duelist Kingdom arc and stuff, I was kind of not impressed until I learned a little more about him as I seen him more, and especially in the Dark Side of Dimensions movie.
And if you look at season 0, he was a little more vindictive. But
Very
honestly,
vindictive.
he's not a bad character at all. I wish they kind of expanded on him a little bit more, but you know what? You take what you can get in this case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And at least he literally lives to his word on what he wants to do. So there's that. He's an extremely, I guess you want to say, truthful but mysterious person. That's the best I can say about him.
You aren't too far from the truth on that one, Hazard.
Zammy, Crossy, your thoughts, if any? I mean,
Crossy, you have to say something about Shadi because he literally saved your boy toy. Agami.
Mm-hmm.
I know. He's a good character. He's a good plot device. And if it weren't for him, we wouldn't have all this huge plot throughout the anime.
Let's be fair.
Yeah.
He did play a major role in all of this.
That
He may have been a
my shit up.
background. He may have been a background character, but he did play a huge role if you look at it like from the big picture kind of perspective.
Oh yeah.
So he's one of those big background characters more than anything.
Did I wrap up the notable characters, hun? Because
We only have one more, actually. Just one, and that's... Well, it's a 2-for-1, actually. Priest Seto and Kisara, since they both tie in together. Okay, so Priest Seto, basically he was a royal priest. He was, unknown to him, he was also the pharaoh's cousin. He had a short-lived relationship with Kisara, who was the owner of the Blue Eyes White Dragon spirits, and was manipulated by his own father to rebelling against the pharaoh. They were originally going to give him a big arc about his betrayal of the pharaoh's court, because he did it out of revenge for Kisara. But because of time constraints, Kazuki Takahashi had to skip over that particular plot point. He was also the original owner of the Millennium Rod, and ironically became the pharaoh of Egypt after his father's attempts to hijack the kingdom backfired. As for Kisara, she owned the Blue Eyes White Dragon Spirit. She was a slave girl and was forced to sacrifice her life to save Seto. And believe it or not, she was also the one thing that kept Priest Seto's moral compass in check. So she was literally the very reason he basically didn't go completely off the deep end like his father. So your thoughts on Seto and Kisara?
I kind of like this Seto better because he's much more caring.
To be fair, hon, you
Kisara.
can't blame him.
I know.
Guys, remember when I mentioned that Kaiba's obsession with Blue Eyes ran deeper than one thought?
Yeah.
This is what I meant.
In fact, Kazuki Takahashi actually confirmed this. And when you think about it, Seto Kisara's relationship could have gone much further had, things not played out the way they did.
Oh yeah.
They would have had babies.
Possibly. And to be honest, remember, one of the reasons Kisara was treated so badly by most of Egypt was literally because of her looks. Because when you look at the Egyptians in ancient Egypt and Yu-Gi-Oh!, they were basically tan-skinned and dark-haired for the most part. But when you look at Kisara and she looks so completely different from them, she was like they accused her of being, an evil foreigner, and they treated her really badly. And the sad part is, Priest Seto is one of the few people who actually cared about her and, protected her. So their relationship, again, she was... And here's the thing, with all the shit she dealt with, I'm surprised she didn't go evil. To be honest.
Honestly, I don't got much to say, but they are very interesting, both of them.
Oh yeah, they are. And
as for Priest Seto, I imagine if it weren't for her, if it weren't for Kisara, let's be honest, Seto would have probably been... And I'm gonna be honest, probably an even bigger asshole than Seto Kaiba himself. For all we know, Zor could have made Priest Seto his puppet. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but that's a very distinct possibility.
I mean, it makes sense. All this makes sense.
I mean, I think we can all agree that, for better or worse, this was definitely one of those relationships that should have seen a better ending than what we got. If only because Priest Seto could have easily gone very, very far character-wise. Hell, I mean, yeah, he ruled Egypt in the pharaoh in Atem's place after Atem's death, but he could have gone. There could have been much more to it. Sadly, we don't get to see what happens, after the fact. All we know is that he ruled Egypt and protected it for the rest of his life. But I imagine it must have taken a toll on him emotionally, because without the worst case scenario is Kisara's death had a much worse effect than we could have possibly figured. But that's more character analysis than anything else.
Yep.
So I think we talked about all the characters we need to talk about.
Pretty much. Any favorite arcs or whatever? Because there's a lot of episodes to go through as is.
Well, yeah, I got plenty of questions to ask for all of us. So basically, all I had to ask is, first question, out of all the arcs we have, what is everyone's favorite? And it doesn't matter if we're all the same. I'm just curious.
Waking the Dragons for me. Waking the Dragons and Battle City.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna have to agree with Crossy on that. Mostly those two arcs because that's where a lot of the character development really exploded for me. Especially with certain duels, like particular. Okay, with Battle City, it would have to be when Yugi had to face off against Joey. That was one hell of a duel. Let's be honest. I have to point out how in Waking the Dragons, it had to be when Kaiba basically was forced to become a better person throughout the arc, whether he wanted to admit it or not.
Yeah, I have to agree with those
Yeah.
statements a lot. They showed a lot of things. Battle City and Awakening of the Dragons had a lot of connections together in a way, and it was very interesting to watch them both.
And Zami, what would be your favorite? I guess you want to say arc.
Battle City.
That's fair. That is fair. I mean, I think a lot of us have Battle City as a favorite.
Yeah, the only one I want to add to the favorites is I like Battle City Wicked Dragons, but I also like the Ceremony one too.
That is.
I don't blame you. That's a good one. That's a very good one. So I can't fault you on that. If I had to pick favorite characters, hard to say. Like, okay, before we even go to characters?
Well, hang on. Let me ask the questions first, asshole. That's my job.
I know. I said, yeah, but then wait a second. I'm overstepping a bit.
Yeah. So, we can include the non-canon ones if we want to, but anyone's least favorite arc?
I'm gonna be honest, and don't hold this against me, but Duelist Kingdom, because I felt like they could have fleshed out the characters better. Don't get me wrong. I like Duelist Kingdom for what it was supposed to set up. But at the same time, I didn't care for it with mostly because of certain characters or episodes. Like for example, Bandit Keith, he's an asshole. But I also didn't care for the Virtual World arc because of mainly one particular reason, and it's not even Noah Kaiba, surprisingly. It's Gozaburo. Gozaburo Kaiba is just an asshole. Plain and simple. He had no redemption whatsoever. Not even an attempt at redemption.
Yeah.
At least they tried to redeem him. But Gozaburo, he was just an awful person. That's why I don't care for that arc. Granted, it's a filler arc, but I felt like it was kind of a waste of time because clearly we can see where it's headed. But at the same time, it's for the longest time, Noah gave me the worst first impression, and he barely redeemed himself at all in my book by the time it ended. That's just how I see it.
But all right, guys. What about you guys? Least favorite arcs?
God, the Noah arc,
the Virtual World arc.
Honestly, I'm gonna say this because no one's really brought this up. The first virtual reality arc where they had to face the
Big Five.
No, the 5-headed dragon thing.
Yeah, that was essentially the Big Five.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I forgot they existed.
I was thinking of the Big Five and Noah's arc thing.
They're the same guys, actually.
Oh, yeah, but I'm talking. Yeah, but the other virtual reality thing where.
Yeah, the first one. Yeah, I see what you're talking about. They were just there. I'm gonna be honest. They were just there. It was kind of embarrassing to watch with them. I mean, I was gonna originally say the Korean One Grand Prix arc with Siegfried, and I'm like, Siegfried's just honestly more forgettable than anything else. He's just a sad excuse of a villain.
Yes, and he has this little accent. Would you like some schnitzel or wieners or wieners on my leader?
I'm going just stop it.
Oh God, Crossy, no.
Anywho, honestly, I felt like it was a waste of time.
Legs.
I felt like it was a waste. Siegfried was just a waste of time more than anything else. That's why I didn't really particularly care about him. But yeah, those are my honest opinions. I just did not care for the Virtual World arc, mainly because of how little redemption value it had, in my honest opinion. Zami, you already said yours, so I think we can all agree the Virtual World arc was just not one anyone cared for.
It was a nice concept, but
poorly executed at worst.
So, next question. Everyone's favorite character?
Okay. There's two I have favorites of. Just two in this case. Favorite characters overall has to be Seto Kaiba.
Fuck yeah.
And also, I'm gonna be straight up honest with this one. Joey Wheeler to an extent, but here's why. The reason I actually like those two Joey reminds me a bit of how I was when I was a kid. So you can't really fault me on thinking this. Cause let's be honest, Joey was basically treated like the bad guy half the time just because of the situation he was stuck with. And he had a strong sense of responsibility, even though he didn't act like it. You can't blame him for that. As for Seto Kaiba, you can't deny that he survived and he basically thrived throughout all the shit he dealt with.
Mm-hmm. It's like the words "I lived, bitch" had a new meaning.
Pretty much. Yeah, he screwed the rules when he felt like it, but you know what? It's called take control of your fucking life. There, I said it.
My favorites have to be Atem and Joey. Atem mostly because season 4, because like he had this like whole character arc of like self-discovery, because after that duel with Raphael, he had this whole emo act because he lost Yugi.
Actually, I had to list one more character, and this was a hard choice to make. It was between Ishizu and Odeon. You can't blame me for this one because they both have a lot of potential. Odeon even more so because remember what I said about his loyalty. You cannot deny that. That's one of the reasons why he's one of my favorites right there. So yeah, Odeon's definitely another one I put on my list. You guys have your favorites. Go ahead and take your pick.
Honestly, one of them, actually, I do enjoy Yami Bakura. Because as much of an evil asshole he is, he's actually a good villain, if we're going to be honest. Along with another favorite, which is Yami Merrick. Because they're both good villains in their own ways, if we're going to be completely honest, you know what I mean?
You have no argument for me on that one.
Even though they have this psychoticness and stuff, most times when it comes to certain villains, there's always the villains you see is either the brute force type or the evil genius type, or one of my personal favorites, the psychotic evil bastards. You know what I mean? That
Again, you have no
afraid
complaints
to
for
murder.
me on that one. Like you have literally no complaints for me on that one. I can honestly see where you come from with that. If I'll be completely honest. Like I said, with Yami Bakura, I see where you're coming from with that. While I don't particularly have him as a favorite character, I see where you're getting at. Like it or not, Yami Bakura is an effective villain. All right, so ladies,
I just want to say for protagonist type, I do like I would do like Yami Yugi and Kaiba because they're both skilled duelists.
Fair point. Zammy, your favorites?
Oh my god, if it isn't painfully fucking obvious.
I know Kaiba's one of them, and so is Duke Devlin.
Yeah.
Any others?
Yeah,
any others at all?
Fucking Kaiba and Duke. Oh god.
I mean, I don't blame you. I mean, Duke has potential as a character.
I had another character, but fuck, it left my mind because you mentioned. I forgot.
Odeon?
I forgot.
Yami Merrick?
No.
I think
he's favorite villain though, along with Pegasus. I mean, fucking yeah.
Pegasus. I can see why. Pegasus is one of those villains you would never expect to be a villain. I'll give you that one.
So yeah, Pegasus, and then Merrick for villains. Kaiba and Duke Devlin for favorites. For like heroes or whatever.
Okay.
But I'll get back to you on that third one if I remember him.
Okay, can you describe him?
I legit straight out of Compton forgot.
Well, do you remember what he looks like or what deck he used?
I forgot.
You disappoint me.
All right.
I know. I disappoint everyone.
Well, no, you don't disappoint everyone. Trust me.
Anyways, Mizuki.
I
already know Bakura's one of them, woman.
I have too many favorites.
Well, if you can pick a few.
You can pick a few and list your reasoning. We'll try and get behind it.
As Hazard mentioned, I do like Yami Bakura.
He's one hell of a villain.
I hate picking favorites.
I know, but it's part of the questionnaire.
I know. For Protag, Yugi, Atem, and Kaiba. Fuck, I can't think. I don't think I have any other. Do I have any other villains from the original Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't think I do. Just Yami Bakura.
That's fair. He's a really well-written villain. He has
He
his
really
motivation to be.
is.
You can't deny his motivation as a villain. I mean,
Okay, that's it for mine then.
all right. And Justin, you already listed yours. Hun, you already listed yours.
Zemi said hers.
Yeah. Okay. Any least favorite?
Odeon. Sorry,
all right.
I'm stupid.
That's
Odeon.
fine. That's fine.
Oh, Odeon.
That's fair. I don't blame you. I already listed him as a favorite of mine. Can't deny that that man has been through a lot.
Yeah.
And he'd probably do it all over again if you asked him.
It just came back to me out of nowhere. Oh shit, okay. Odeon.
Okay. All right. So least favorite, like we already listed least favorite arcs. So.
But
least favorite characters.
Yeah, least favorite characters.
Yummy Merc.
Excuse me.
Okay, I feel like me and Hazard might agree with this one on least favorite characters. Gozaboro.
Yeah,
Gozaboro can go
okay,
eat butt
Yummy
checks.
Merc. Okay, along with Yummy Merc, Gozaboro as well.
Gozaboro's
I know Sammy's probably
asshole.
wanting to strangle me right now for saying
also,
Yummy Merc.
Also, I honestly don't like Zork, especially design-wise.
He has a rather large dragon penis.
Seriously?
I mean, we get it. He has a dragon for a penis.
Yeah, that was bothering me. And
yeah, but that's what happens. We have a fever dream, apparently. And no, I'm not kidding. It was literally a result of a fever dream.
You smoked all of it, didn't you? I mean, what are you talking about? There are tons of people here.
You smoked all of it! There's no one here!
That's all I can think about least favorites for now.
Han, your least favorites?
Kaiba.
Reason being.
Can you repeat that?
I think Sammy is wanting to kill both me and Crossy right now.
I'm not gonna repeat it. It's
Han,
just Kaiba,
your
that's
reasoning,
it.
please, before Zambi 6 or Cyber Dragons on you.
He fucking hates magicians. I hate him.
Oh my lord.
That is so petty. You are so petty.
Petty as I may be, he sucks. Man.
Wow.
You suck. Literally.
And you follow.
Oh no, baby! I don't swallow. I
Moving
fucking
on.
guzzle and choke.
Okay. Moving on. Any other characters you don't like at all?
Rex and Weevil.
Weevil? Yeah, I also forgot he existed. I can't stand him for one particular reason. What do you think triggered the Berserker Yugi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's an asshole for what he did. Plain and simple.
Mm-hmm.
You can't change my mind on that either. Like, he is that asshole.
Zammy, got any least favorite characters?
Gozaboro can go eat butt checks.
There we go. So I think it's time for some surprise questions that I haven't even told Hazard about.
Oh dear.
All right. So we can only probably pick one or a few of these because this is going to be a really tough question. What is everyone's favorite duel?
Oh, I hate you for that question, fucking
I got
bitch.
mine. I got mine.
All right, Zammy, since you got yours, you go first.
Remember the twins and they were up in the tower and Yugi and Kaiba had to fight them together? I love that one.
Oh, the tag duel.
Yeah, bro. Okay, I can't blame you for that one.
I love that
was a good duel. That was a good duel.
Okay, this one's a tough call to make and with good reason, because it's a toss-up for me between the ceremonial duel, the Joey versus Valen duel, because that was really good, despite the ridiculousness.
This hand of mine glows with an awesome power! Its burning grip tells me to defeat you! Take this! My love, my anger, and all of my sorrow! Shining Finger Sword!
Like, in my opinion, that was a good duel. And I also have to point out the duel with the duel between Dartz and versus Kaiba and Yugi, because those were all pretty well written duels, despite the sheer ridiculousness of those duels. Like, let's be fair here. Well, that and one other I just remembered, the duel between Yugi and Kaiba at Battle City.
That is a good one.
Those are really hard choices to make, but if I absolutely had to pick one, it had to be again, I'd have to narrow it down even further to literally Valen versus Joey and Kaiba versus Yugi at Battle City, because those were very well written, and it showed their rivalry to the utmost extreme in both cases.
Mm-hmm.
Say what you will about either one, but they really showed their rivalry to the fullest.
All right. Crossy, Mizu, do you have one?
I technically have two.
All right, let's hear it.
The ceremonial duel, and then when Yugi has to duel Yami Bakura.
Understandable given the circumstances.
Crossy, what about you?
I kind of like the duel between Yugi and Joey in Duelist Kingdom and Yugi and Joey in Battle City.
Honestly, I have to agree with you on the Battle City one and the Duelist Kingdom.
Battle City one made me cry.
Oh. Honestly, if I had to say one of my favorite duels, I personally enjoyed this. It was definitely the Yugi versus Raphael. Definitely the second one, though.
Understandable. That was a heavy duel.
Yeah, it really got intense, especially near the end when Raphael's dark side showed, which you didn't think you would expect.
I didn't expect him to go completely fucking ape shit.
I have a few others. I did enjoy the Joey versus Merrick duel. It was so good. I was just like, I would have given it a better score, but it's just the ending was just so disappointing. It hurt me. You know what I mean? I didn't really. I'm not saying I hate the ending of it or anything, because it ended how I should have expected it. But I just would have. I would have been so happy if Joey won that duel. You know what I mean?
He deserved better. Plain and simple.
Yeah, he really deserved that win.
Because he went through hell and back 3 times over throughout Battle City, and for what? Like, the fuck?
He worked so hard to get where he was, and just that just kind of killed him. You know what I mean?
That was a kick in the dick.
Yeah. I still love the fight. It was a great duel on both sides, nonetheless. All right. So everyone's got that out of the way. So you ready for the next tough question? And y'all can only pick one.
Wait, did Zammy put her favorites, or?
I think she did.
Yeah, she did.
What?
Okay.
You already put your favorite duels up, right, hon?
Yeah, the twins and the tower and
yeah. Okay, I'll try to remember.
Okay, so I got one more. I got another toughie, and you can only pick one for this one. Okay?
Oh, I hate you already. I can already tell I'm gonna hate you for this one.
What is everyone's favorite Yu-Gi-Oh monster that appeared in the series?
Oh, you
Dark
fucking
Magician.
bitch!
I'm picking Dark Magician.
Dark Magician girl.
Zammy.
Fuck you.
Yeah, pick one, baby.
Fuck you.
If I have to be completely honest, Buster Blader.
Honestly, mine is Dark Paladin. So you're on. I was with.
Like, I don't know why, but I like Buster Blader's
split.
I like Buster Blader's design actually better than Dark Paladin's, but only by a little bit.
Yeah, to be honest, I was tossed between Dark Paladin and Buster Blader, but given how you said Dark Paladin, I just went with Buster Blader. I kind of went with Dark Paladin, but
I got like fucking 5 of that.
Well, if you had to choose between two, let me ask, if you had to choose between two?
Obelisk the Tormentor and Blue Eyes White Dragon.
I fucking knew it.
Yeah,
Buster Blader will eat that fucking thing.
All right. So I think that covers up the surprise questions I had and stuff. I think we could probably start wrapping things up. Unless. All right. So
any least favorite duels before we end? Because I have only one I don't care for.
Honestly, I don't think I have any.
Probably the ones with Rex and Weevil in them.
My least favorite one. Toss up between, in all honesty, the first duel between Yugi and Pegasus.
Also, I also hated the battle with Bandicoot in them.
Yeah, those are the ones I didn't care for. Because they were just a waste of time more than anything else to me. But the reason I don't care for Yugi versus Pegasus was the first one was literally because Yugi got robbed on a technicality. I know he wasn't supposed to win and all that shit, and he's not my favorite character, but I have to point this out. He literally lost because of a technicality.
I mean, you aren't wrong.
It was a timed duel.
Anyone else want to say something before I start wrapping things up?
Gozaburo can go eat butt checks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
You ain't got no complaints from me on that one.
All right. So I think it's time to do for the next part. So we're basically gonna go around and everyone's gonna rate this show from a scale of 1 to 10. So let's go ahead and start with our guest. So Mizu, if you had to rate this show series and all that from a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate it?
Maybe like a 7.
A 7. All right.
Yeah.
Any specific reasons or nah?
Nah. I
All
would have
right.
said a 10, but considering some things that contribute to that a little bit, just 7.
That is completely fair. Hazard.
I'm gonna be honest, and this was a tough call to make, but I'm rating this an 8 out of 10 only because because of the sheer potential it had. If you add in the context from both the subversion and season 0, there's clearly a lot of room for expansion had, Takahashi had more time to expand on it story-wise.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the only thing that really holds it back was the lack of expansion in a few areas. That's my honest opinion. Like, especially with the arc between Priest Seto and Kisara, because of the whole longer planning for that arc and the in-depth characterization for Priest Seto. That's why I say there could have easily been more to work off of. But I'm giving it a tentative 7.5 to 8 out of 10 because of this. Other than that, I don't have too many complaints about the series. I mean, a little fun fact before I forget: with what you see with the rules of duel monsters in the anime, from Duelist King all the way up to Duelist Kingdom, this was because around that time the card game rules had not been actually established. They didn't establish the rules until Battle City. So up till roughly a third way into Battle City, that's when the rules were actually, properly established.
Crossy, what about you?
I give it a 7 out of 10. Or an 8 out of 10.
Any reasons or nah? Or mostly similar to Hazards?
Similar to Hazards.
Fair.
Zambi,
again, what about
room
you?
for growth. That's all I can say.
8 out of 10. Some characters could have had more expansion, especially the Kisara and Priest Seto shit. I would have really loved to see that if only the author had more time.
Mm-hmm. Not only that, but they could have expanded a little more on Joey's story a bit, because we got to see plenty of Kaiba and Yugi's, but we barely compared to them, we don't really see much on Joey.
There are some characters that need to work. So if I have to be honest, to me it's a 7 out of 10 because like you guys, there is so much things that could be worked on and things. I'm not saying it wasn't great. There was great moments and everything, but there was some stuff that could be more filled in a way, I guess, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just biased opinion to me, but maybe the filler arcs could be a tad better if they were going to go for filler stuff, because I know it's unavoidable. Anime is going to have that filler type arc stuff, you know what I mean?
I will give them points for characterization. That's why I didn't give it a lower score. The characterization was pretty good in a lot of places. Pegasus, he's supposed to be this eccentric flamboyant person, for example, so that's why I like the characterization. So I don't have any major complaints about that. It's just certain characters we could have done without long term, like Weevil and Rex.
Yeah, it's really a toss up between 7 or 8, so I might have changed it to 7.5, but I'm not too sure. It's just one of those things I'm not too sure, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I gave it a tentative 8 literally because there's room for growth. That's why.
Yeah. It's not perfect. It's a great series, but it's not perfect. So, I believe this leaves off to our...
It does set the standard pretty high. So, there's that.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of standard, I think it's time to ask our final question of this thing. Does it still hold up? Basically, when I asked this question, when it first came out, and you have to ask yourself, does it still hold up for today, for so long? And honestly, I think I could say for all of us, yeah, it really does. It still holds up, even back then to 2021. It really still holds up to this day.
I actually remember us watching it together, when we first started to get together. It's like, Jesus, this shit's so old and it still holds up.
Yeah, first we started watching 5Ds, and then we just randomly started watching Yu-Gi-Oh! And at the Battle City arc parts, and we just literally just started to go right in, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Either way, it holds up because the animation, the dueling, the voice acting, and it still holds up. And it's got an interesting story parts to it as well, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Here.
Like, I can't really say I have too many complaints when it came to Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it really just went in on certain parts, especially with the duels. You know what I mean?
Especially with certain like plot critical ones too. But like here's the thing, when we come back to favorite duels, which I hate you for that question by the way. I wanted to pick the ceremonial duel, but I'm like, no, but then I had to stop and think about it. But then I had to stop and think, wait a second, but what about, the sheer intensity? Because don't get me wrong, the ceremonial duel is intense as fuck.
Oh yes, absolutely. Because no one really knew who was gonna win there.
I mean, that's the thing, though. It was kind of predictable how it would end between Yugi and the Pharaoh at the end, but when it came to Kaiba versus Yugi at Battle City, you only had an educated guess who'd win. I mean, for all we know, plot twist, it could have been Kaiba winning and going up against Merrick or Joey in the finals. Because, again, the sheer intensity, it got to the point where even the God cards wasn't enough to satisfy their rivalry.
I think that's a good wrapping point. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Retro Warriors. And we'd like to thank our special guest Mizu for joining us.
Yes,
no
Mizuki
problem.
Ravendale.
Yes, be sure to subscribe to Mizuki Ravendale. We'll leave a link to her channel in the description. And is there anything you want to say?
Well, pretty much if you guys do go check out my channel, it's not obligatory to, but if you do, you'll mostly see that I do character voices, and I'm doing 3 Let's Plays right now. And also kind of started a series on suggestion of my boyfriend, which is the Chibi Foxy Flip, that people are really starting to like a lot.
Chibi Foxy Foof, the bringer of death.
I eat the bringer of death.
Yeah, and also a Royal Thunder at times.
No.
He's very adorable about it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is the Retro Goddess, I guess. Signing out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'm sorry for my over excessive thirst.
No, you're not.
Okay, maybe I'm not sorry, but
And this has been your favorite and lovely wild card. I hope you guys enjoyed this little review, even though it's gonna be lengthy as fuck. But
honestly, just put it to like half-hour chunks. We'll still have a fuck ton of content left.
Yeah, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, see you guys soon.
This is Hazard of Chaos, sarcastic researcher and chaotic artist. And if you annoy me, I will end your sorry existence. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this review. We had fun with this. Hopefully you did as well, and hopefully you're a little more enlightened on this series. Not much else to say beyond that, but don't just take our word for it. Go ahead, check it out whenever if you feel like it.
Real quick, don't worry, guys. We're still trying to find his lab.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like, this is your retro leader of this whole team and things. And we hope you enjoyed. And leave comments down below if you want to answer any of the questions I asked earlier. And tell us what you guys think of Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff. And we shall see you all next time for Retro Warriors. Say bye, everybody.
Bye.
Later, peeps.
Sayonara.
Alonze.
For the next time on Retro Warriors.